I'm Ann Day, and I'm a StockShop photographer. What interested me first was my grandmother. I photographed my grandmother all throughout my teenage years, and she had a fascinating face, very lively, kind of wrinkly and bird-like. She looked like George O'Keeffe in a way, and she would always say, "Why don't you take pictures of something pretty?" And now I am taking pictures of pretty things. I teach a course called Making Extraordinary Pictures from Ordinary Events, and still that is what moves me the most. I worked as a photojournalist in my 20s and early 30s. I worked in South Africa in the late 80s, in the period leading up to when Nelson Mandela came out of prison, and that was exciting. I worked in various places around the world. My first job as a digital photographer, which was in 2002, was to work on a book called One Day in the Life of Africa, which was sponsored by Olympus, and we all had a digital camera. None of us knew how to use it. We had 100 of the world's greatest photojournalists in Africa. Everybody had a digital camera, and most of us had a secret film camera in our bags because we were not sure that the digital camera was going to actually be able to take a picture. Really, I'm a generalist. I'm interested in photographing what's intimate, what's close to me, the places I live. I like photographing out my window. I think if I had to choose what most moves me, I would say childhood. Portraits of children, faces of children, and not just children, teenagers, young people, babies I love. Really, I'm interested in the experience of it, running and jumping, and I love water. I have lots of pictures of kids in the lake or kids in the ocean, and I think that the pictures to me are very nostalgic. There's a kind of a timeless element to these summertime pictures. It's a whole collection of images I have called Summer Lawns. I do believe that interesting pictures are everywhere. In fact, when I teach, I show pictures by other photographers, by great photographers, but I never show a picture that my students couldn't have taken themselves. None of the pictures that interest me have any artificial lighting or any kind of sophisticated setup. They're all pictures that are taken with simple equipment, simple cameras that any other person could have taken, but they didn't take it because you have to be looking. You always have to be looking.